Three major 1985 events that are repeating itself in Buhari's present administration. Welcome to the news and please subscribe to our channel. President Muhammad Buhari's administration is one month that has been loaded with a litany. President Muhammad Buhari's administration is one that has been loaded with a litany of eventful moments since he assumed office in 2015. Some of these events have been described as repeat times and moments of the president's stay in office when he served the country as the military head of state between 1983 and 1985 by former lawmaker Shehu Sani. Sani, who represented Kaduna Central in the 8th Senate in a recent post on Twitter, a microblogging site, made a list of 3 major events both in the 1983 to 1985 regime of Buhari and his present administration. The list reads thus. Number 1, closing the border. In 1994, the General Muhammadu Buhari military regime closed Nigerian land borders against all the nation neighbors within the ECOWAS region and the ECAS, that's Economic Community of Central African States. Again, in August in 2019, the federal government, led by President Buhari, ordered the closure of Nigeria's land borders. The closure, the federal government said, is a clampdown on the illegal importation of drugs, arms, and agricultural products into Nigeria from neighboring countries in West Africa. This particular closure lasted for over a year when the FG ordered the reopening of 4 land borders in December 2020. Number 2, redesigning of the Naira. To put a stop to the hoarding of Nigeria's local currency by alleged corrupt politicians of the Second Republic, the General Buhari Idiagbon-led government redesigned the Naira in 1985. As the head of state at the time, Buhari ordered new Naira notes to tackle the challenges created by corruption at the time. In the same vein, on October 26th, the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, announced the plan by the federal government to redesign the Naira. Emefiele in his declaration said that the redesign of the notes is aimed at controlling inflation and combating activities of criminal elements behind the financing of terror activities across the country. According to the Central Bank of Nigeria governor, the new notes will be in circulation from December 15th, and all existing old and new currencies are to remain legal tender until January 31st. In addition, Emefiele said the old notes will cease to be a legal tender for the nation by January 31st. Number 3, Umaru Dikko and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's repatriation. Shehu said in his list also said that in preparation of Umaru Dikko, a Nigerian politician and an advisor to President Shehu Shagari, and that of Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of a proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, are similar. Dikko, who served as Minister for Transportation from 1979 to 1983, fled into exile in London following a military coup which ousted the government of Shehu Shagari. He was accused by the military regime led by General Buhari retired of corruption and embezzlement of millions of dollars from Nigeria's oil revenues while in office as transport minister. Shortly after, he was discovered drugged in a crate at Stansted Airport that was being claimed as diplomatic baggage on July 5th, 1984. The said crate was headed to Lagos, Nigeria, in which may be described as a government-sanctioned kidnapping that was done forward by the British government. Also, on June 30, 2021, news filtered in that the leader of the IPOB has been arrested by Nigerian authorities in Kenya. Speaking on his arrest said, a brother to the IPOB leader, Prince Kanu, while demanding justice for Nnamdi, said his brother has been subjected to extraordinary rendition by the government of Kenya and Nigeria. His words, and I quote, "They have violated the most basic principles of the rule of law. Extraordinary rendition is one of the most serious crimes states can commit. Both Nigeria and Kenya must be held to account. I demand justice for my brother, Nnamdi Kanu." Buhari finally tells Nigerians who vote during the 2023 presidential election. Meanwhile, in other news, Nigerians have been advised to ensure that they make the right choice and vote for whoever they deem fit at the 2023 general elections. The advice was given to Nigerians by President Muhammadu Buhari during his meeting with King Charles III. According to the president, he is optimistic that the flag bearer of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, will win the 2023 presidential election. Tinubu meets IBB as an ex-military head, asks the Gaban crucial question about his strength. Photos and video emerge. The amount of rest Bola Tinubu gets has come under the scrutiny of a Nigerian former military head of state. Ibrahim Babangida asked the All Progressive Congress 2023 presidential candidate if his team will allow the much time needed to rest. According to Babangida, all the seen in Tinubu's team who came to visit IBB Mina appear to be younger. Okay, let me say this now. Make it look and be like, say, person they two talk. Let it not be as if person they two talk. Let me start from what's it called? Should I say from the beginning of the beginning? Okay, Shehu Sani is actually trying to tell us the what's it called? The things that was done when Buhari was in military that he still did now. So for those who thought that Buhari had changed, I think some of these things is there to remind you that the man is still who he is. He didn't change anything. He did not change. Because a lot of people are like, the kind of person he was, some said he was brutal, some said a lot of issues, surrounding him, his person, you are flying all around the place. A lot of people said, no, they don't want that kind of a person, while some people said he's changed. Now, this is a proof that he did not change for once. That person, where we say, being a military head of state, from that 1960, was it 60? 1985, sorry, not 1960. And the person now, they are still the same. Meaning the closing of the border he did now to Stephen something that he did then. He did not learn anything from the one that he did before. I don't have issue with closing the border, but my own is he did not put things in place. Number one, he did not prepare. He was saying, he wanted domestic things to be sold, such as, our rice and everything. How about what did you do to prepare farmers? What did you prepare people to start eating local rice or local foods? What did you do? And again, you did not also protect people as well. We have insecurity all over the place. Even our farmers can no longer go to the farm. Do you understand? All these things, you ain't no learn them then. You have to prepare. You have to make sure people are safe and the farmers, as in, they are going to be overjoyed. So sincerely, those who this security issue not really ever affect so much, they're actually enjoying it too. No, then they enjoy them. But the thing is, you close the border and rice is still expensive. And I think it is primarily because you didn't prepare the grounds. If you want to replace something with something, you have to prepare. There has to be a preparation that will usher in that one so that there will be a smooth transition. And of course, people will come to value what you are doing or what you're trying to do. All right, on this note, we've come to the end of the news. We say thank you for tuning in to listen. Until I come your way next time.